if GM would just stop using cylinder deactivation, lightweight oils, and auto start stop, they'd be on top again. That's a comment I heard on our TikTok channel, and I was like, huh, wonder what he means by that. And if I get that thought in my head, I go down a rabbit hole, start digging into it. Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. I want to show you my research into that topic and more. It's Friday, it's Truck News Recap Day. So I'm going to talk about that topic and other things happened this week on Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. Before we get there, I want to share with you a special sweepstakes. Because next year is 10 years of Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and I'm doing a sweepstakes this month. We're focusing on the Fargo Air Museum, if I pull up the right thing. Fargo Air Museum is promoting a giveaway. We're giving away a Can-Am Defender. Can-Am Defender. I don't know why I get that right this morning. But you have 2025 Can-Am Defender to giving away to people who need it. And I'm telling you what, these things are really cool. 2,500 pound towing capacity, 4,500 pound winch. You get 2 times the entries. You use PUT 2X. You can see this in the link. I'll put a link in the description down below and in the comments. And I'll put it if you listen to this podcast, put it in the podcast description as well. You get 2 times the entry points to enter into the sweepstakes. And again, benefits the Fargo Air Museum. And they have past winners who happen to be all in North Dakota. Imagine that. So, they have flash giveaways as well. So there's a lot of details going on with the Fargo Air Museum. But I thought it was kind of cool. If you need a Can-Am, a new one, and trust me, you might. These things are really cool units. Check it out. 27 days left. It ends the 31st of this month, but 30-inch tires, 3-position full glass, tilt-up windshield, 2 enclosed 2-passenger cab. The enclosed passenger cab is a big deal. Trust me. I know this. I had one that was not enclosed last January, and I froze. Really cool. Anyways, back to the story. So have GM's, this title is terrible. I rewrote this thing a dozen times. Basically what I'm saying here is, so GM's got new engine technologies like cylinder deactivation, lightweight oils, and they actually hurt truck sales. But listen to this in the podcast. I pulled the website, and I'm talking through what my story is. So I thought that has been interesting. So it's an interesting question. So it's been over a decade since GM's V8 engine technologies became standard. And I had to go back in time. I did a bunch of research on this. So let's look at what's happening. So the year was 2014. And there's actually a archived press release I found on the GM media site, and I pulled some stuff from this. But 2014, the original press release of 2014, the Chevy Silverado, was the first year they made several of these new end technologies standard. So this is the first time they all became standard. They had in prior years used them. I'm not saying that cylinder deactivation was all new in 2014. No. They had cylinder deactivation in prior years, but this is the 2014 was the first time, because it was a new model launch, that they made it all standard. They also went from the Vortec engine series to the Ecotec engine series. Okay, and for this model year, the press release states a trio of new Ecotec 3 engines power 2014 Silverado 1500s. These engines include the 4.3 V6, 5.3 V8, 6.2 liter V8. GM stated these features, quote, feature 3 state-of-the-art technologies: direct injection, which people don't love that either, cylinder deactivation, people hate that, and continuous variable valve timing. Okay, I think continuous variable valve timing is okay, but I'm sure I said that. I'm sure people are going to be like, oh, you dumbass, in the comments. I get it. But we have direct injection, cylinder deactivation. We also have lightweight oils. So let's talk controversy with cylinder deactivation. Because I remember when it first came out, I was talking to my friends about this. And I remember being in Michigan at different various periods of time. And people were like, yeah, that's really cool. You're driving on the road and you see the symbol. It says like V8 and then it goes to V4. It goes from 8 cylinders to 4 cylinders. People were excited about this. And then they became not so excited about this because people were like, it's causing all sorts of problems. But back then, GM praised the system, and they still praise it to this day. But they say these large displacement Ecotec engines can now instantly switch to 4-cylinder mode to improve efficiency when less power is required. It gives customers the best of both worlds: a rugged truck engine when you need it, with improved efficiency and light load driving, said Jordan Lee, small block chief engineer and program manager, in a May 5th, 2013 press release, which, by the way, I looked it up. He still works at GM. The critics of the system point to the cylinder deactivation as reason behind engine lifter failures, constant activation and deactivation of cylinders, putting extra stress on them. especially in stop and go traffic. So they say that if these cylinders are coming on and off, on and off, on and off, it's putting extra pressure on the engine lifters and causing them to fail. They also see lifter failure issues with oil pumps getting clogged or low oil pressure due to cylinder deactivation working too fast. Now, GM has steadfastly denied those claims in various interviews with me. Trust me, I asked an engineer once. I said, "Hey, how do you guys respond to people saying that the cylinder deactivation is causing oil problems?" He about cut my head off. So they don't agree at all about that. GM does not agree at all. And they have since the V8 to V4 mode, which we call active fuel management, they have since introduced since 2019 dynamic fuel management that can go from like V8 to like a one cylinder. And they have a myriad of different ways they can cut the cylinders down. And you can't even tell. There's no way to tell on the screen. The other thing is lightweight oils causing engines to fail. That's a very popular topic on YouTube. I've interviewed a variety of oil companies, oil engineers, like at the American Petroleum Institute. We're talking to people at Valvoline, talk to people, engineers, talk to mechanics. Everybody's got a different viewpoint on this stuff. But let's talk about lightweight oils, because in 2014 was the introduction of 0W20 oil and longer oil intervals, which GM saw as a way to, quote, save owners money by avoiding unnecessary oil changes. So I'm going to duck under my desk right now so you don't shoot the messenger. But that's what they said, because I know people hate that online. Other people are going, this is so crazy. I'll explain to you something. So in the comment section on my YouTube channel, on TikTok, on forums like this, I will have somebody who says, if you do a 10,000 mile oil change, you're destroying your engine. The person below it on these comments, below it or a couple of months below, will say, I have a fleet of trucks. I do 10,000 mile oil changes all the time. My trucks last 300,000, 400,000 miles. It's no big deal. So yes, while I hear the people that have a lot of concerns about longer oil change intervals, I also hear a lot of people who say it's not a big deal. I go to a dealership and I ask them, I said, what's going on? They said, 10,000 mile change, no big deal. On my wall behind me are the photos of the 1,000,000-mile Tundras. I've done several 1,000,000-mile trucks, 10,000 mile oil change, 1,000,000-mile trucks. But I hear the people that say, Tim, you're a moron because you should never follow the information anyways. Manufacturer's lying to you. It should be 3,000 miles because turbocharged engines blow up the oil, or it's 5,000 miles at the most with synthetics. Everybody's got an opinion on this. It's so interesting. But 2014 was the first year that lightweight oils became part of the Chevy, in this case, Chevy Silverado. The new engines use Dexos oil for increased fuel efficiency and longer oil life, and V8s are engineered to use 0W20 oil to improve lubrication and reduce friction. The prior generation Vortec engines used 5W30 oil, and while they use the same oil life monitoring system, not a mileage interval, they did have more frequent oil changes. So since the mid 2000s, GM has done an oil life monitor, not a mileage interval. Dealerships haven't changed. They go by mileage intervals, and it's a whole controversy going on that stuff. But they've done an oil life monitoring, which is basically a mathematical equation that looks at what you're doing. Are you towing a lot? Are you doing a lot of severe driving? Change oil more often. It's just been part of the owner's manual for years and years and years, but people haven't really followed it. Now, critics of the thinner oil claim, it simply isn't thick enough to protect the engine. The longer oil intervals push the oil beyond its ability to hold up. And it's all meant to just get you beyond the warranty period before the engine blows up. That's the critics. Let's check with my sponsor real fast from ScreenPro Tech. We'll come back, we'll talk about direct injection, and we'll talk about sales.
This week's Truck News Recap is sponsored by my friends at ScreenPro Tech. They make the film that goes over top the infotainment screen and digital dash. This is a great product. It keeps the smudges off, keeps the scratches off, and it actually makes the screen, for the infotainment screen, more of a tacky feel. So on long road trips, like I just finished a long camping trip, it was easier for me to pull up my music, pull up my podcast, and use the map. My finger didn't slip around so much on the screen, and it was easier to use those systems. I also kept off a lot of the smudges, fingerprints, and didn't have any scratches from, say, anything I was using. The screen still looks brand new. If I have any problems with it, I can peel it right off. I can order a new piece of film, go over top of it, It's like you would with a cell phone, keeps that screen nice. So I'm not worried about any time in the future having a scratched screen, and I can keep that looking like brand new. Go ahead and get yours at ScreenProTech.com. About 60 bucks for the infotainment screen and the cover. They have it for all makes and models. Get 15% off. Use discount code PICKUP15. They make this nice little cylinder. It's like a boutique kind of cylinder. It comes with all your screens in there, and then they have a application that with a little applicator and a really nice high quality cloth used to clean it as well as after you apply it, and some spray to put it on. So easy to apply. I've had videos on the channel on how I've applied it, and it's held up on my truck and my wife's Ford Ranger. We've both been really happy with this product. So make sure you get yours. I really was looking for something for these trucks we buy that have these really big screens. Make sure I want it protected. This has been really good. All right, let's head back to more of this week's truck news recap.
Okay, so let's talk about direct injection. So direct injection, the concerns are we have carbon buildup concerns. Okay, so the GM says the technology precisely meters fuel directly in the cylinders to optimize combustion over a broad range of conditions. The engines also feature a new cylinder head design, a new sculptured piston to optimize the mixing of air and fuel in the engine and burning of the mixture to create power. I've spoken to different engineers over the years at a variety of brands who tell me that the new engine designs and new cylinder head designs and the new way that the speed at which they shoot the fuel into the cylinders makes it autonomize all of the burnt up or all the fuel in that cylinder, and you don't have any burnt up gases going around to create a bunch more carbon buildup. That's what they say. I've talked to some mechanics who say that's a bunch of garbage. I've talked to fans who say you have to get a walnut cleaning to clean out your engines and any direct injection engines. You have to have that service done. I talk to my dealerships in town. They're like, we don't really offer that service. So I don't know. Take what you will. So yeah, the criticism is if you don't have port injection, the fuel unburnt fuel can get into the gases, go around the top and sit on top of the direct injectors. And then that causes a reduction in performance for the engine. Okay, so GM has kind of just claimed they have photos of there's actually a whole lot of lab results they show with a 2.7 liter turbocharged engine in the Colorado after 200,000 to 300,000 simulated miles on a engine stand without any buildup, but people just don't buy it. So let's say all this technology gone in 2014. So does any of this actually improve the truck's performance? Question just came from the forum. They're like, if you use lower, what was it, the different tension oil or different tension rings in the engine and lighter weight oils, are you really improving any sort of fuel economy? Does this stuff even matter? Okay. I don't know. It's interesting way to look at it. I mean, sometimes you can say yes or no. I look at this and say, okay, look at a 2013 5.3 liter Vortec versus 2014 5.3 liter Ecotec 3. So right when that model year changed, horsepower is about 40 more with the 5.3 in 2014. The torque improved by 40, 50 feet of torque in 2014. Fuel economy improved by about 2 on highway and about 2 combined with the 2014. And four-wheel drive, the fuel economy improved by 2 with combined or highway and 1 combined fuel economy. I would also say, and I replied back in the forum comment, engines like the 2.7 in the Colorado right now, the turbocharged engine, can't exist without the lightweight oils, without the things they've done to make that engine more have more compression and produce more horsepower and torque. That engine when it exists, we still have the V6s. Now you could say, well, I want that V6, it's more reliable, no problem. Consumers are saying, I want that 2.7 because I want more horsepower and torque and I want better fuel economy. That's what that says. Now people will say real world they may not get better fuel economy, but according to the data that shows up that we can look at from the EPA and from the testing the automakers put out, which by the way, these fuel economy numbers don't come from the EPA. They're self-certified by the automakers. So that's what the automakers are putting out from their own testing, and they do their own apples-to-apples testing. So the biggest question is, have GM sales suffered since bringing out all this new G8 engine technology? So it's capitalism, right? If you don't like it, don't buy it. Automakers will stop building it. That's how things work, right? So you don't watch my videos, I'll stop making videos on this stuff, and you guys will just go along in peace. Well, don't do that. Don't stop watching these videos. All right. So what's going on here? So if you look at the results of the Chevy Silverado, I'm going to go back for a minute. I look back on data from 2005 to 2024, I had a whole chart. I had like a whole afternoon. I had everybody. I had all the different brands together. I actually saved it all because I really want to keep this data. But I looked at all information. So I looked at 2009 through 2023. I looked at 5-year segments. I looked at 2014 through 2018, 2020 through 2024. These are 5-year model year segments. Okay. And I looked at, all right, how many vehicles did they sell in that time period? And then I averaged them out for that time period versus the next time period. So the Chevy Silverado in 2009 to 2023, 406,000 trucks on average per year. That's pre-cylinder deactivation, pre-lightweight oils, pre-direct injection. 2014 through 2028, they average 575,000 trucks. So they're selling 175,000 trucks on average each of the next 5 years that they offered the cylinder deactivation and direct injection and lightweight oils. Then in 2020, when they added more stuff, direct fuel dynamic fuel management, they're averaging a little bit less. They got 20,000 trucks less the last 4 years of sales when I do comparison like this. Now the results for the GMC also went up. The GMC went up 60,000 from pre to post 2013, 2014. But interesting enough is in 2020 through 2024, it jumped again up about 50,000 trucks versus it had before. The reason for that is GM has made a change. They're starting to push more GMCs as more premium and really make the brands be more separated. I think we're seeing more customers buying GMC. So we're seeing a drop in some Silverado sales as more customers are saying, hey, I really want that Denali. I want the Denali Ultimate. I want the AT4X. And so they're buying some of those other trucks that didn't exist before. So there's really some difference between the brands. Now, this doesn't include the heavy duty trucks. There's no way to separate those numbers out back then versus now. Now we can. But if you're curious, right now, the numbers show about 30% of half-ton of these numbers are heavy-duty trucks. So out of all these numbers, if you take 551,000, about 30% of that is heavy-duty trucks based on what we're seeing from sales results that General Motors is putting out. Okay, so let's kind of wrap this up. So what's this mean? It means sales are actually up versus where they were without deactivation, lightweight oils, direct injection. Now, it is true Americans are buying more trucks than they had in prior years. Trucks more popular. That's a change out because of the way the CAFE standards are written about under President Obama. But they are selling just many trucks they were, if not more. Okay. Reliability. Reliability remains the item that's up for debate because I could talk to a dozen mechanics, get a dozen different answers. But I will say this. It depends what viewpoint you have on this stuff. So IC Cars has, it's like a cars.com selling site. They do research on all different listings of vehicles out there. They did a massive survey and they found the Chevy Silverado 1500 was 3 times more likely to reach 250,000 miles as a new one than the average vehicle on the road. So they're saying that truck is more reliable than the average vehicle that they had in their survey. However, Consumer Reports has ranked the GM V8 engines for poor reliability for the last several years. So 2 different arguments going on between 2 different outlets that do reliability stuff. Chin rub. All right, what else is going on with the channel and with Pickup Truck Talk and all that stuff going on? So homepage of the website is just filled with good topics. We have Mazda CX-5. We have the 2020 Chevy Silverado 1500, 2027 Silverado 1500 Trail Boss Spy. We have new V8 engines. We have new spider wheels going on, new exhaust tips. We have improved Toyota Tundra scores, very controversial topic we did the other day. Help Toyota reclaim the Consumer Reports reliability crown despite some massive engine recalls. There's been some interesting debate on my personal Facebook page about this as well. We have the new Trump CAFE standards rolling back, Biden's target to 34.5 mile per gallon. I have some conversation in there as well of what that number may turn out to be. Interesting details there. On the YouTube channel, I get to my channel here. Pull it up. So I'm going to look at, oh, my still at laughter there. Oh, we got all sorts of stuff going on here. So we have the 2-story camper. We had the Ford Maverick Lobo. We had LA Auto Show. a new journalist here on the channel, Corey Forniket, was over there. He walked through the midsize, looked at midsize trucks at the LA Auto Show. Really interesting video. See what's on the sales floor. The 2027 Chevy Silverado 1500 video is on the YouTube channel. We have Trump's Cafe rules. I also interviewed this gentleman who owns it's a major auto parts store or company, I should say. And he's talking about why the car parts are so more expensive right now. Pretty interesting video there as well. And then we have Consumer Reports that Soraya just talked about. I made that into a video. Short form content is just doing a lot with this stuff. I talked about hidden price charges with the destination fees. Do you know destination fees have doubled almost in the last 5 years? Do you know that? Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So stuff with Attica going on. We're having I explained a story from my friend Richard Truitt on what is causing engine failure. This has been an interesting video. Maybe we should do a long form video on this because people have been talking a lot about that video. So may do some more stuff on that as well. And then we have Patreon's going on. Got a couple members over there. If you want to help support the channel going to next year, again, 10 years of Pickup Truck Plus HV Talk, please join a Patreon channel account. All the kind of stuff you need to do. It's fantastic growing that over there as well. So yeah, really fun times here on Pickup Truck Plus HV Talk. I've hired 5 new people. We have the sweepstakes going on. We have a lot of momentum heading into 2026. Next year we have new F-150, new GM twins coming out. We have the holidays right around the corner. We got a lot to be thankful for this year. We got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of cool energy, a lot of really good videos coming out for you next couple weeks as well. I'll be going to Michigan to see something that might be interesting to people on this channel. I'll be going to Phoenix. I got to go to Michigan again. Lots of cool stuff coming down your way. I hope you guys stick around and join us as we go through this journey of really cool trucks. Fantastic stuff. Again, I'll put a description to the giveaway down below, and make sure you check it out as well. Side by side looks pretty cool. I wish I had one. I'm going deer hunting pretty soon, and they're damn handy. They really are. So hey, make sure you check out other videos on this channel up over here. Website down below as well. pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.